Welcome back to Raising Real Estate Standards. We're coming into a changing market, and I mean that not just in the real estate sense, just in an entire global economy, and especially in the United States, we've got some financial changes and challenges going on, and today we really want to dig deep into that. Not a lot of people are, there's a lot of talk about it, but not a lot what you can do to prepare for it and how these changes are going to affect you personally.
Yeah, so some of the stats that have come out recently, just probably about a week ago, the Case-Shiller Index came out, 20% increase year over year. What that means is the appreciation in home values has gone up 20% since, this was the February number, since February of the previous year. That's a lot. You've seen this huge increase in values, and then let's think about what's going on in the mortgage market too. You've seen an increase in mortgage rates of probably double in the last 3 months, which has just led to this low home affordability right now, and fewer people can purchase. So that's the demand in the market. You're starting to see slow down a bit.
Absolutely. I mean, in talking with a number of agents around our area, we're feeling it in multiple different ways. Prior to the adjustment in mortgage rates, and as we really started to see inflation numbers come out and tick up, we were experiencing a situation where the struggles were buyers are unable to buy properties and they were getting desperate, and it was a struggle for buyers agents. And we're still not like that's gone away. We've just added another little complexity is, okay, not only is it there's still lower inventory out there, low inventory. A lot of these people that got qualified 2 months ago, 1 month ago, may not qualify for what they're out looking for.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back and look at the numbers. So again, 20% appreciation, essentially doubling in mortgage rates. A $400,000 home in February of 2021 is now costing $480,000. That's your 20% increase. But the big thing is the mortgage on that $400,000 home in 2021 was $1,800. Whereas the mortgage on it now is roughly about $2,800. So you're seeing an increase of about $1,000 just there on a monthly payment standpoint.
Absolutely. So as we have all that have been in the business for a while, home affordability is just in the crosshairs. I mean, it's just it is difficult for your quintessential middle income first time home buyers to get into a property. But as things are going on, those that aren't sitting on a pile of cash ready to make big offers with cash, they're struggling as well, even in the upper middle income and upper income, just because they've been now priced out because of the affordability of those mortgages.
Yep. Here's some good news. Some good news is this, and I heard this morning. So according to Realtor.com, housing supply is set to increase year over year for April for the first time in 3 years. So these are some of the changes that you're seeing in the market.
These are the things that we've been asking for a while. So, back when we first started talking, and it was like we're in a low inventory and buyers are desperate. There's no, for God's sakes, I was talking to someone that works out of the Seattle market, and there was like 25 houses for sale in Seattle. That's mind-boggling. So the number of people that are looking to purchase those properties in any market, suburban, urban market, it was just difficult. There just was not enough homes, and we heard it constantly. We need more inventory. We need more inventory. Well, the solution to more inventory, there's a lot of different solutions. It's not one way. We all kept hearing builders need to build more houses. Something's got to happen. Well, guess what? One of the things that's happening is the change in the economic environment that we're working in, which is going to inherently cause a number of people to withdraw from the purchase market. So you're going to have less demand. which is inevitably going to help the supply side as well.
True, absolutely. So let's look at this from a real estate agent standpoint. So we've got these changes going on in the market. We have the most real estate agents in the history.
1.6 million realtors, and double that for licensed agents. So probably around 3 million, a little over 3 million.
Exactly. So the way that I'm looking at it, the way that I'm telling people is I don't believe the pie, the market itself, is going to shrink. I think what you're going to see is the slices of the pie are going to increase, which means those out there who are in this business full-time, professionally, this is their business, you're going to see it get back to kind of the way it used to be, and their market share is going to increase, where you're going to see some of the market share of the, for lack of a better term, the fly-by-nights, they're going to start to decrease a little bit.
Yeah. There's a major opportunity here. So there's a lot of negative or what can be perceived as negative in what you're talking about, Brian. But there's an opportunity in every market. And for those that are prepared or are preparing or are willing to prepare, there is a major opportunity for you to gobble up market share, which means you're going to do probably, if you do it right, you can do more business than you did in previous markets where, let's just be honest, for the longest time, you heard people say, God, business is great. We're doing so much more business. This was a record-setting year. Well, that was true for a lot of people, not just a select few. There were a lot of people, majority of people doing their best years in the last 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. And now things are going to adjust. And there's going to be a resetting of how business is done and the ability to obtain business. It's not going to come knock on your door and sit in your office and say, hey, I want to buy something or I'm going to sell something, and all you have to do is write it up and move on. No, it's going to take some work, and you got to be prepared for it.
Yeah, you're really going to have to be. You're going to have to be that professional in this business. I love one of Brian Buffini's sayings. He said it back during the last downturn, but it was great. He goes, during this time, everybody was super busy. Everybody had a lot going on. Everybody was successful. Well, a turkey can fly in a hurricane. And the whole concept of that is, if the wind's blowing, if the wave's going, everybody can catch the wave. But it's when it gets back to kind of that normalcy and when it's going to become more difficult.
Absolutely. So those turkeys that were out flying in a hurricane, or those real estate agents that, just set back and just let the business happen to them versus going out there and being intentional about the business, I would argue are probably not going to be in a great position in the next 6 months. As a matter of fact, I would say those are the same folks that are having tough feelings, the uneasy feelings about the market today. They don't even know that they're in for a rough road because they're just letting it happen to them. It's going to be those that really dig in deep and are intentional about their business, and can put forth the strategies to execute to grow their business. In this time, there's going to be a separation between real estate agents, we're all real estate agents, and real estate professionals, just like you said. And those real estate professionals that are systematic and are intentional about what they're doing are going to flourish.
So what are some of the things that somebody can do intentionally that can, what's something that somebody does to separate themselves from the quintessential real estate agent to that professional you mentioned?
First and foremost, number one is having a past client sphere of influence system. Period, punctuation, the end. And a lot of people that are in this business, a lot of the turkeys that are in this business, feel that they do have that, or feel that they do business by referral. Well, anybody is, if you're a good person, is going to get referrals. There's a difference between getting a referral and working by referral, and working intentionally to garner those referrals. And so it's going to be hyper important that you are defending, in a previous podcast, one of the D's that you went through, defending your database, that you have those systems in place. To have a highly effective system, you need to be touching your past clients at a bare minimum 36 times a year. And what I mean by that is not just, one way. It's not just, it's not just sending out a mailer or sending out an email. It's multitudes of ways, and you have to touch them, and you have to have it systemized, because business is going to happen in between. And so as you're setting up those past client systems and you have it intentional about it, that's where the gold is, and that's where you're going to flourish.
Yeah, and I would add to that, it's you're more than a salesperson. These people, your sphere of influence, are your people, and you add value and you make deposits into them that have zero to do with you collecting a commission check. This is you adding value to this person. This is you helping this person for no other reason than you want to help this person. That's where the referrals come from. That's when somebody becomes an advocate for you and your business.
No question. It goes down to that whole know, like, and trust. And first of all, they have to know that you exist. So staying in contact and making sure that they know you're still in the business. They have to like you. They have to feel a connection there that's beyond the real estate. They have to trust you. And they have to trust that you're going to be competent and you're going to be good at what you do. Those three key items come back to the overarching piece of it, which is care. Mm-hmm. They have to know that you care about them. And do you care about them more than just a house or a condo or whatever that they're purchasing? Your care has to extend well beyond the physical things that they're buying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We've talked a little bit about the good, the bad of what's coming and what's going on right now. I want to talk a little bit about the ugly. And Mark, you've been real passionate about this, but you talked about, or you have talked about the people that are going to be scratching and clawing, who aren't prepared for this.
You smell it?
Yeah.
You smell it?
Yeah.
It's the smell of desperation.
Desperation.
It is, and it is, for the past 4 months, the desperate folks have been our buyers, and they were desperate to buy a house. Well, that shift, that desperation shift, is getting ready to happen in the ranks of real estate agents, because it's going to be harder to get deals and be participating in the market. You're going to find a lot of these people that don't know how or what to do, because they really couldn't tell you what they did to get the business that they had over the past 2 or 3 years. If you sat down and asked someone who was really successful, there's a good percentage of those folks that really don't know what they did to be successful, other than they had a real estate license. Mm-hmm. And so what's going to happen is, as the market is evolving, those folks that don't know how they obtain those folks aren't really actively and intentionally doing anything, and so they're going to get desperate, and in that desperation comes bad decisions, comes bad attitudes, comes trying to cut corners, and it's important, and this is where the opportunity lies, and this is where those that are professional real estate agents are going to stand above, because when someone is desperate, it's like they're wearing a scarlet letter when they walk around. You can see it, that the desperation in them, and clients and the consumers can see it, and thus it's going to be even harder for them. It's a self-fulfilling situation that it's going to be even harder for them to obtain clients. But us as professionals have to know that exists. Mm-hmm. We have to know that it's going to be out there, and we have to know that we're going to have to deal with it. We can complain about it. We can come in and as a managing broker, I have agents that come in and complain about so-and-so on the other side. It happens all the time. But more importantly is how we deal with it. How do we combat and prepare ourselves to react in a positive way to those that are in a desperate situation. And you have to feel for those people on the other side. You have to understand that it's out of self-survival. And it is what it, I hate to say that term, but it is what it is. And so how you react to those situations is going to be hypercritical in your advancing your career. So knowing that someone on the other side is going to do something to cut corners to make a deal work in the guise of it's for my client, when in actuality it's for my commission when you really dig deep.
Yeah, and being in the business for almost 20 years now, we've seen one of the things that it takes for a real estate professional to maintain their business is to understand that those of us in the industry are all on the same team.
That's right.
If you come at it that you're going against someone else, or I need to protect my client from X, Y, or Z, and it's not really doing anything to protect your client, you're just being a bully in a situation, that's the fastest way to end your business in this industry, because we all cooperate with one another.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and our relationship with our fellow brokers in the fast-paced market that we've experienced over the last couple of years, while it is important, it wasn't nearly as important because things were just moving fast. As the market adjusts, your relationship with your other brokers and how you have treated them over the past 3 years is gonna resurrect itself. You're gonna feel if you ran your business as the bully, as the coming in with a sledgehammer and just tearing stuff apart, the market's going to know. The market knows. The market, and your clients are going to suffer because of past actions. And so it's super important to acknowledge that everybody has their different struggles, and if you can approach it with kindness, approach it with a sense of humility. And a sense of trying to understand where the person from the other side is coming from, it's not only going to benefit you, it'll make your business long term. And that's, to be honest, that's what it all comes down to, a long term business. But it's going to benefit your clients in the short term as well, because the other side is going to be more apt to cooperate in those tough situations.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's to come. We've already started hearing from some agents, "Hey, I'm busy. I've got a lot of listings getting ready to come on the market." I heard a guy say just recently, and he was talking about the economic market in general, thinking, are we going into a recession? Are we not? But what he said was, during these downturns, the seeds are sown of recovery. And that's the most important thing to understand, is sunshine and flowers are coming. And we're already starting to see some of this.
Absolutely. And kind of take a step back as investors, and if you think of this as in the investing world, if you're preparing yourself for I don't want to call it a downturn, because downturn indicates prices are going to decrease. Right. I don't think prices decrease. I just think the amount of business is going to be done by less people, like you said. Mm-hmm. However, during times of shift and times of contraction, is when those that are preparing end up profiting the most. If you're in a position to be able to take advantage of a changing market, you are going to be the one that benefits, and benefits a lot. Mm-hmm. As conversations that we're having with our agents, kind of break it down. Okay, so what can we do? What can a real estate agent do right now? First and foremost, get your past client sphere of influence system in place. And these are things that need to be able to happen without you having to do everything. This isn't, I've got to go do 10 different things and I don't have time because I'm doing, no. A system is set up so that you don't have to worry about thinking about it. And yes, you can put love and kindness and care to build the know, like, and trust in a system that is natural and is not doesn't feel like an unnatural drip. So a drip campaign or something that's just not, the right word
Personal.
Not personal. So you can build these systems that are super personal, but doesn't really require you to have to do something, every single day. So building that out is going to be key. Making sure those A-plus clients, these are the people that not only know, like, and trust you, but are your advocates and are out there talking about you on a daily basis. You need to be double downing on these folks. You need to be in their world once a month at least. You probably need to be taking them out to lunch and really digging, because guess what? They're also somebody else's A client.
Yeah, if you're not, somebody else is.
That's right. So, digging into that, and then, practicing kindness, building that into your business, and then, let's go to work. I mean, we were at a meeting the other day, and they said, "What can we do?" We have 3 resources as real estate agents. We have time and money. And if you're doing less business, you have more time to lead generate, more time to be intentional about what you're doing. If you're super, super busy and you're experiencing those massive influx of listings, and you're having to service existing active clients, well, then you need to leverage other things to be able to include lead generation in your day. Mm-hmm. So those are important things that I say that need to be doubled down.
Yeah, I would. Here's the thing: if there's nothing else you can take from this podcast, right now is the time to. Right now is the time to be a professional.
Yep.
Period. Get out there, do the stuff you need to be doing, because that's gonna basically lead to the future success of your business.
And I would also say this: if during this time frame, it's time for you to sit down and talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. It's time for you. If you did it 6 months ago, guess what? You need to do it again. You need to sit down and talk to your mentor, talk to someone who has a different perspective of what's going on than you, because I would say there's a lot of people who are going to get in their own way. And if they just took a moment to sit down, unload their fears, unload their trepidations out there, and then hear and listen to someone that is not in their day-to-day, they're going to have that aha moment that's going to change their trajectory over the next 6 months.
Absolutely. Well, guys, get out there and do it. Become that professional, and let's make a difference.